there, and welcome to this episode of Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill right here in Hammond, Louisiana. I'm Alan Waddell, and joined as always by the head baseball coach of your Southeastern Lions, Coach Matt Reiser. And Coach, thanks for being here. A very productive week for your club. You go 3-1. You sweep Houston Baptist on the road. You take on Lafayette earlier in the week. That one didn't go the way you wanted, but then you rebound nicely on the road at Houston Baptist.
Yeah, overall a good week. You know, we had a tough one there on Tuesday. Thought we played well. I think we, unfortunately on the wrong end of things there, but guys do a fantastic job bouncing back in conference play and sweeping the weekend.
Just speaking briefly about that Louisiana Lafayette game there in Hammond, it was a televised game by Cox Sports Television. We want to thank those guys for giving Lion baseball some love there and putting us on television. But this was one of those games where just nothing was dropping. You know, he hits the balls very hard, hits the balls on the screws, and just couldn't get them to fall there early on.
Yeah, you know, when you have a night like that where you hit a lot of balls hard, and you got to credit their defense as well. They made some very nice plays, some big situations, and we didn't. You know, we had a chance to make a couple plays and keep that score a little bit closer there for that ninth inning heroics. But at the end of the day, you know what? I think the guys did a good job of competing all the way through the end and did a good job rebounding back.
Well, the Lions would then rebound as they go on the road to Houston Baptist to take on the Huskies in game one of a doubleheader that was moved because of rain on Friday. Actually, a 12 o'clock start. Here's the highlights of game one. Here we go in game one, Coach, against Houston Baptist, as this was another one of those due to the weather. You'd play two on Friday afternoon. Started at 12 o'clock on Friday for game one, and you get it started off right.
Yeah, you got pretty used to these doubleheaders. I think this is our fifth doubleheader now, and guys did a good job coming out early. You know, the lefty was a tough lefty coming into it. He had shut out UTA earlier in the year when we were at the tournament up there at their place, and I got a chance to see him pitch. Had a really good changeup, and finally did a good job here in about the third inning of staying back, driving some balls the other way. You saw Carson with the double there, and then the E's going backside. And then Jacob Seward, the Southland hitter of the week, comes up with a big knock there up the middle. We had the first 2 runs of the ball game there to make it 2-0. Had some other opportunities here off of them, and just unfortunately, it is what it is. The lefty's a good arm. He got a strikeout. We got a run at third here with 1 out. The ball comes loose. Thought he might have been safe there, but he said he grabbed for it, so he maintained the out there. Unfortunately, didn't get any more runs on the board, but good job jumping on him early.
Here's a ball ripped down the left field line by Daniel Midyat. Would add it to your lead and make it 3-0 here in the fifth, as Tate Ciano was cruising early on the mound. Offensively looked good, and then Tate on the mound on Friday. Yeah,
you know, he did a good job. We knew coming in the game that Houston Baptist had a good hitting club. They were leading the league in conference games only and hitting about 320, and we saw it. They were tough to pitch to on Friday. But Tate did a great job of just eliminating the big innings. As you see, you get soft contact here. We make the play there at first base. They end up having 12 hits off of Tate in total, but as you'll see later on, they only scored 2 runs in the entire game. And again, here's another situation where we talk about they were getting the hits, had guys on base, got in scoring position, and we get the fly out there to center field at the end of the inning.
It's a little ground ball by Chris Eads, and I know you talked about that going into this one, was that they were going to get some runners on, but you had to eliminate the big inning against the Huskies.
That was a big part of it, you know, and their leadoff does a good job here in the 6th inning with 2 out, second and third. We unfortunately botched the ball. Guy comes up with a big 2-out knock, but again, Tate does a good job eliminating the inning here. Had some chance to put some more runs on the board. Get the easy ground out there by Kennan, taking that out there at second base. And like we talked about, the lefty was tough. You know, he kind of going pitch for pitch here in the back end of the ball game, as you see both guys going back and forth. Still in the ball game here late in the game, 7th, 8th inning, and really Tate kind of found a second groove a little bit, which was big for us. As you can see, we get deep in the game here. Nice play there by Ryan Byers. And then this play here by Jacob Seward, just unbelievable play to hold the lead there at 3-2 in the 8th, and did a fantastic job of letting it go over the bullpen. A big-time play. We make a defense replacement here. As you'll see, Jacob Williams come flying out of nowhere, make the big-time diving catch. As you saw, we made tremendous defensive plays all day long to keep that 3-2 ball game. They go out for a visit with first and third and tell them, hey, give up the second base. We're not worried about it. Keller's going to get us out of it. And he gets the easy pop-up here for out number 3. Again, the defense replacement there with Jacob Williams.
And the Lions take game one of the doubleheader on Friday, win the ball game over on the road against Houston Baptist. Great job by Tate Ciano and Kyle Keller coming in for the save. Well, Matt, it seems like we've talked about this a lot this year as your team's getting used to doubleheaders because we've had a lot of weather issues here in 2015, but your team handles it. A 12 o'clock first pitch, and you win a tight one 3-2, just like you would expect a game one to go.
Yeah, you know, we coming into the weekend, we knew they had a really good staff and knew they would get a lot of hits. We did a great job eliminating the big inning, and you know, I didn't think we executed as well as we needed to offensively, but we played well enough defensively. Tate pitched well enough, and then obviously Kyle Keller come out there getting his first save out of the bullpen. I thought guys all the way around did a good job of just grinding out a win.
The Lions knock off Houston Baptist in game one. They move to 15-4 in the Southland Conference and remain in first place. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the highlights as the Lions took on Houston Baptist in game two and game three right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Riser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill.
Ford Truck Month is here, and it's all about the numbers, people. Like low financing and big cash back on the 2014 F-150 while they last. Here's another number for you. 42. On average, a Ford F-Series is sold every 42 seconds. Now that's impressive. Get $9,000 total savings or 0 for 60 on the 2014 F-150. The time is now. See your Southern Quality Ford dealer today.
Your eyesight is so important, and when it comes to your eye care, let the friendly staff at the Bond Roten Eye Clinic care for you. Doctors Hunter Bond and Chris Roten, along with their staff of trained doctors, are committed to providing every patient with quality care. The Bond Roten Eye Clinic has the latest medical technology and eye care to help you, the patient. With over 14 years of experience, the Bond Roten Eye Clinic has 3 locations to serve you, with offices in Denham Springs, Hammond, and Amite. So if it's a checkup, glasses, or LASIK surgery, you need to visit the Bond Roten Eye Clinic. For more information on the clinic, please visit bondroteneyeclinic.com.
Lions Baseball is supported by Louisiana's First Choice Auto Auction, located in SLU's hometown, Hammond, Louisiana. Louisiana's First Choice Auto Auction is a dealer-only auction.
For more information on Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction or their upcoming charity golf tournament, please visit www.lafcaa.com or visit Louisiana First Choice Auto Auction on Facebook and Twitter. Welcome to Buddy's Bar and Grill, located at 1236 South Morrison Boulevard in Hammond. Buddy's is home to great steaks, fresh seafood, and friendly service. Buddy's has been voted the best steakhouse and best restaurant in Tangipahoa Parish. With over 2,500 square feet and 3 large dining rooms, Buddy's can accommodate any party. Buddy's goal has always been to wow customers with their food and prices. Owner Scott Henderson and his family have always believed in giving customers good deals for their hard-earned money. Stop by Buddy's Bar and Grill for dinner and a drink. For more information on Buddy's, please visit buddyshammond.com.
Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Riser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill right here in Hammond. After the Lions knocked off Houston Baptist in game one, it wouldn't take long as they would turn right around and take on Houston Baptist again in game two of a doubleheader. Here's the action. The Lions and Huskies would go right back at it, not too much longer for game two of the doubleheader on Friday. And this was actually a very similar game to game one. It was really tight early on between both teams, really just a nip and tuck type game.
Yeah, you know, again, facing another good arm for them. They came in the game with a team ERA. I think they were second or third in the league in team ERA overall, and they do a good job of throwing strikes and pitching, and we had to get some hits and create some offense, but we had one of our good ones going too, and Jake Johnson. You see a nice play there by Kenny Menard, and finally get a little bit of offense going here. Webb Bobo actually thought this ball got out of the ballpark, kind of lost it there in the sign, and hits a double there off the wall of the 380 sign. Just a fantastic job of driving the ball out there in the deep right center field. And Chris Eads comes up. He had a couple big hits in the game, but this obviously is not one of them. Does a good job of getting the guy out of the inning there, and we go back to work on defense.
Here they go, having a ball down the line against Jake Johnson as we're scoreless through in the second inning at this point. And Johnson allows a walk here and a little bit of trouble here in the second inning.
Yeah, like I said, kind of very similar first game. They had some opportunities here early in the ball game to get some runs on the board, but again, another big-time pitch there by Jake Johnson, another nice play there by Kim Menard, taking it easy out there at second, and we get out of the base load to jam there, and we get the chance to go to work now from our offensive standpoint. But they do a good job. You know, they did a good job really all weekend of, again, making us put the ball in play and having to beat some balls out. Seward beats the infield single out there. We get first and third, and Carson Christ does a good job of lifting the ball here to left field to drive that first run in and make it 1-0.
productive out there as Price gets the RBI. Ryan Byers comes in to score as Johnson goes back to work. And you know, one thing about Houston Baptist is you talked about their batting average in conference games and a lot of singles. So there was a lot of guys on base during the game, but your defense and your pitching staff did a good job of not allowing those guys to score.
Yeah, exactly right. And then we do a good job after getting out of these type of innings. Like here we talked about with Chris, big 2-out double down the right field line. You know, if you look at Chris's batting average, not one of the highest ones on the team, but tell you what, this young man's been big for us. His hits are meaningful hits in big time, big situations.
There's Johnson with a punch out, threw that one right by the Husky hitter. As you can see, runners on base here for Houston Baptist. They're trying to get back in the ballgame.
Yeah, and again, you talked about they finally get a hit here with a guy in scoring position. It ended up being an unearned run because of the error at shortstop, but just a C&I single scores a run, makes it 2-1. We eliminate the damage, and it allows our offense to go right back to work here to try to score some more runs.
There's a single through the right side by Brett Hoffman, and then another single through the right side by Kenna Menard. So offense has something cooking here against Houston Baptist starter.
Yeah, we really had a chance here to kind of extend this lead, and that's what we didn't do in the first game. We had first, second, nobody out. We end up missing the bunt. Really kind of screwed up the situation we had going there, and then Chris Eads there with a strikeout with the guy in scoring position. And we go in the bottom half of the inning, and good job there by Jake Johnson. Again, eliminating out. They get the leadoff guy on. They bunt him over. They hit a line drive here at third base. Another guy in scoring position again here with 2 outs. But Jake does a great job again getting the easy routine pop up there to center field. And it was kind of the story of the day. They couldn't get a knock with a guy in scoring position, and we could.
Lions lead at 2-1 at this point. Here's a double by Ryan Byers into the corner. Had another good weekend at the plate. Out of the 9-hole, and then the man of the week, Jacob Seward. He's going to single through the right side.
Yeah, a good job there with nobody out. Really just trying to advance the runner. We get first and third here now, nobody out, and a great read here by Jacob Seward. Now it gets out of the double play. They kind of pitch around Carson a little bit, and now loads the bags up with nobody out. What you'll see is a 2-run sac fly here by Daniel Midyat, kind of unorthodox, but again, just a great job by our guys playing fast. You see he goes to pull the ball out to make the throw, and we wave Seward home all the way from second base. Carson does a great job of getting to third base now because we only got the 1 out, and we got to run at third again now with 1 out here and still putting pressure on the team, on the defense. And we go on contact. Play here at the plate, you know, with Carson's speed, we go on contacts. We're safe there. Again, just playing fast. Kevin Carter does a great job on the bad throw. You kind of see him sneak his hand there between the legs, get back to second base.
Matt, another very close ball game in this one, 2-1 late in the game. You stretch out the lead at the end. I know you had to be proud of your club for that.
Yeah, you know, the biggest difference between game 1 and game 2, I thought we did a much better job of executing, have some more quality at bats, and therefore there come the runs. You know, did a good job stretching the lead late, which we had multiple opportunities to do in game 1, and to be able to bounce back from the failure in game 1 to do it in game 2 and to sweep that doubleheader was huge for our program.
Also, Matt, Jake Johnson picks up his 8th victory of the year. He's the leader in the Southland Conference, also one of the leaders nationally, has done a great job in that Saturday role, in that game 2 role for your club. Yeah,
the second time going up against him, and sometimes, you know, that's not good. Sometimes they get their number a little bit on a guy, but Jake was is equally as impressive as from the first outing against him early in the year. Did a great job. Walked a couple guys, but did a fantastic job of pitching himself out of some situations there early in the ball game, and then really cruising through that 7th inning. All
right, the Lions would look for a sweep on Saturday, as it would be a big offensive day, as the Lions would wear the gold tops, and I'll tell you what, they brought their bats. Here's the game 3 highlight. All right, Matt, you come back out on Saturday for game 3, as Jacob Seward's going to lead it off with a double, and this would just kind of set the table for an offensive day for the team and for himself. He would have a monster day, and so would your team offensively.
Yeah, really proud of the guys. Again, you know, the biggest thing we talked about, this was going to be their guy on the mound, and we had to jump on him early. Again, a big 2-out knock here by Kevin Carr. Scores Stewart there from second base. Kevin does a great job of drawing the cut there to make sure we score the run, and we take the early lead here 1-0. But again, you talk about a pesky crew in Houston Baptist. They get the leadoff guy on. Sed does a good job getting a strikeout We get another strikeout. Here's where it was a little different on this day, and resiliency of the offense does a good job of overcoming this. But 2 outs, they started getting some knocks. 2 outs here in the first inning. We're up 1-0. 2 out knock back up the middle makes it 1-1, and that pesky Houston Baptist crew does a fantastic job of trying to take the extra bag. Unfortunately, sometimes the aggression gets you out of the inning, but we come right back and swing the hot bat here again. Again, 2 outs, runners at second and third. And Ryan Byers comes up with a big-time knock here in the gap for a 2-run double, and we take the lead 3-1.
Crafty slide there by Chris Eads, getting that hand in there as Lions go up 3-1. And a theme you'll see in this game is 2-out RBIs and 2-out runs by your offense.
Yeah, again, we just kept pouring it on here in the second inning. Seward with another double now, his second double of the game. Another 2-out knock to make it 4-1. And just kind of let the hit parade unleash a little bit. Carson Kreitz with another 2-out knock, scored another guy in here, make it 5-1. And really the guys started really feeding off that momentum and off of each other, and kind of had a lot of fun with it. It's fun when you score runs, it's fun when you get hits, and when it's going your way, it's going your way. You see Daniel Midyat dump one there in the left field to set up Kevin Carr's big at bat here in the bottom of the second as well.
Lions keep adding on, and here's a big fly by Kevin Carr, his second in as many weeks, and this was a no-doubter out to left field.
Yeah, kind of extend that lead 8-1, and again, we talked about how important it was to extend that lead. On the game 3, we can have the run rule, and guys set their sights on that on this day. As you can see, we're feeling pretty good offensively. Did a fantastic job. Just continue to try to extend the lead. Again, all 8 runs here so far have been with 2 outs.
As with Kyle Sedetall coming into this game with a sub-2 ERA, you had to feel pretty good when you jumped out 8-1 in the second inning.
That's it, and here we make an error. Unfortunately, the guy's safe there at first base. The biggest thing we kept talking about was just, keep staying with it. Don't change what we're doing. Don't get too relaxed. It's still early in the ball game. And again, our offense comes right back. They scored 2 in the bottom of the inning, make it 8-3 on a 2-run homer. As you see here, we get a no-out double there to make it 2nd, 3rd, nobody out, and just keep that pressure on Houston Baptist pitching staff.
Anytime you see Jacob Stewart up in this game, it was going to be something productive. As there's another 2-out hit, 2-out RBI from Jacob Stewart. You go up 9-3, and it was nice to answer. Like you said, they hit the 2-run homer, and you come right back offensively and put some runs on the board.
Yeah, and then here we go again. We just kept the pressure on 3rd inning. We straight steal home. No question there was a balk there on the play. Nobody calls it, but it doesn't matter anyways as we steal the bag, and Carson Kreitz comes up with another big 2-out knock as he hits the triple here in the backside gap. Guys really played fast all weekend. We set up the situation for the steal home because we took 3rd base with 2 outs. You see Carson sliding in there with 2 outs, taking 3rd base. Just really stayed aggressive all weekend long. A really nice play there by Kenny Menard, and this was kind of the inning that we talked about that we really need to get out of to kind of really cruise from here on out and go back to our offense going to work. We didn't give them a run the next inning, but Chris Eads comes back, answers right back with a solo home run, and this would kind of put the icing on the cake as Kyle Sedetall will cruise to the rest of the game.
That ball was absolutely crushed as well. Lions playing a little bit of gorilla ball, a couple of home runs, a lot of doubles in this one as the bats were really hot on the road in Houston Baptist. And I want to reiterate, this Houston Baptist team came in with the top ERA in the Southland Conference before the weekend, and the Lions just really had an outstanding day on Saturday in Game 3. All right, Matt, what can you say about this one? As I'll tell you what, in 7 innings, you have 21 hits against Houston Baptist. That ties a season record for your club. Also, Jacob Seward, 5 for 5. He was named Southland Conference Hitter of the Week. A very complete weekend out of your club. You showed you could win close, and then you showed that you could put up a lot of runs as well.
Well, I think the most impressive part about our club this weekend was we showed we stayed hungry the whole time. We didn't get content with sweeping a doubleheader. We knew it was going to be a challenge with some different adversity, moving the game up on Friday, playing a doubleheader starting at noon, going back out Saturday, possibly that game on Sunday. We had rain Saturday morning. Guys did a fantastic job just handling the elements and the situation, and like I said, I think they were more excited to get out there than anybody else, and it showed. I mean, when you get 14 2-out RBIs, that's just a sign of a mentally tough team that's bound and determined to get a job done, and we did that there on Saturday.
So the Lions sweep Houston Baptist. They moved to 17-4 in the Southland Conference. We're going to take a look at the complete standings when we come right back here on Inside Southeastern Baseball. Head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill.
Ford Truck Month is here, and it's all about the numbers, people. Like low financing and big cash back on the 2014 F-150 while they last. Here's another number for you. 42. On average, a Ford F-Series is sold every 42 seconds. Now that's impressive. Get 9,000 total savings or 0 for 60 on the 2014 F-150. The time is now. See your Southern Quality Ford dealer today.
Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill right here in Hammond. As Matt, let's throw up the Southland Conference standings. As right now, you're right there in first place. You have a 2-game lead against Northwestern State, a 4-game lead over Central Arkansas and Sam Houston State. Northwestern State does play out of conference this weekend, but still a close race. There's a lot of teams trying to get in that tournament.
Well, you know, the biggest thing we talk about is when we have an opportunity to sweep a weekend, we have to do it, and that's where it's been big the last 2 weekends for us to finish that weekend off and go for a sweep. And it could get very content very easily, but these guys understand that each game we take is another game we put distance between us and another club behind us, and we just got to keep doing that from that standpoint. They've done a good job at this point of taking it one game at a time, and we got to continue to do that. We don't have to look behind. All the thing we got to do is look forward to that next game against Lamar there on Friday night.
Matt, okay, let's talk about a couple of things here. First of all, you have a great season going right now, 33-12. I mean, people start paying attention whenever you put a record out there like this. Right now we're getting votes in the Collegiate Baseball Writers Association, also the coaches poll. You're 38th in the country in RPI, 12th in the country in hitting. Having a pretty good year here. Still 11 big games left, though, that you got to take care of.
Well, you know, the big thing when we talk about the regional and NCAA at large, obviously we're going to put everything we can into winning that tournament as well. But if you don't, you want to make sure your resume is built as perfect as possible. And the biggest part of it is finishing, and that's what we talked about last year. I thought we finished extremely strong last year, the back end of the year, obviously the last couple of weekends, but also the tournament there and going to regionals. If this club can put that together as well, I think we put together a great resume for the NCAA tournament.
I don't think there's any doubt. It's now time to take a look at our Lion Profile of the Week, and this week we're going to profile senior third baseman Brett Hoffman.
If it seems like Brett Hoffman has been at Southeastern forever, well, he hasn't. In the last 4 years, Hoffman's played in 219 games for the Lions, just 13 shy of the school's all-time career leader, Cash Hargis. Upon his arrival from Pennsylvania in 2012, Hoff was a little unsure of Hammond.
When I first got down here, I didn't know anybody. I was sitting in my apartment after like the first, week or whatever, early morning workouts, and I was just thinking to myself, what in the world have I got myself into, But ever since you walk into the locker room and you make 35 to 40 new friends right then and there, they made it very easy on me, and the transition has been a lot easier than I thought it would be.
He's been part of the 39-win season in 2012, and he's gone to a regional with the 2014 team, but Hoffman feels that this team is the most complete one he's played on.
We have guys that they're sitting out of a game, and their bat is just as good as the guy in the lineup, And I think that has a lot to do with it. We've had guys that in the backup position they're ready to go. So they're pushing each other, and each guy at each position has a guy to push them behind them. And if they're not getting the job done, the next guy will.
This season, Hoffman's hitting .313, and he's fourth on the squad with 51 hits and third with 30 RBIs. But he has his sights set on the team finishing strong down the stretch.
We want to win out. We want to win outright, and that was our number one goal, to win the regular season. So, and we obviously know every time someone comes into our place, we're going to get their best shot, but they're going to get ours at the same time. And we definitely want to finish stronger. So
with 219 games under his belt, Hoffman needs to play in all 11 games down the stretch and 3 tournament games, become the all-time leader in school appearances. But that's not what drives Hoffman. Another ring and another shot at a regional appearance is what he wants.
Hey, Matt, what can you say about this guy? This guy has been really the epitome of a Lion. Not from Louisiana, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, comes down here, has had a fantastic career, was a preseason All-American this year. He's been Southland Conference Hitter of the Week, and there's a chance that he could walk out of here as the all-time leader in games played for Southeastern Louisiana University.
Brett came in extremely mature as a freshman. We knew his mentality and makeup would make him a chance to play every day as a freshman, and he did. And didn't do it with the offense. Where he's come from his offense his freshman year to now to being a preseason All-American is a tremendous reflection of his work ethic and what he's put into it. And you know, the biggest thing for this young man coming in from Pennsylvania, this is a home away from home. You know, this is a friendly atmosphere. This is a family atmosphere that we have. Our fans and our people here in Hammond have done a great job of welcoming him here. And you know, he only gets a chance to go home twice a year. But I think he would tell you right away that this is definitely no question his second home, if not his first home, because I think his parents are looking forward to trying to maybe move out of that cold weather and come down south.
I'm about to say, I'm sure he likes the temperature down here a lot better than Pennsylvania. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we will have our scouting report from this weekend, and then we will wrap it up right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill.
Ford Truck Month is here, and it's all about the numbers, people. Like low financing and big cash back on the 2014 F-150 while they last. Here's another number for you. 42. On average, a Ford F-Series is sold every 42 seconds. Now that's impressive. Get 9,000 total savings or 0 for 60 on the 2014 F-150. The time is now. See your Southern Quality Ford dealer today.
Welcome back to Inside Southeastern Baseball. Head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill right here in Hammond. All right, Matt, let's talk about the scouting report for this weekend. The Lamar Cardinals come to town, and let's just call it like it is. When Southeastern plays Lamar, it's always a great series. There's always a lot on the line, and these guys are going to run a good arm out there on Friday night, coming off of a shutout this past week.
Yeah, you know, you look at Lamar, they've got some good numbers. I think they're hitting pretty decent. They're hitting in the 280s, 290s, the third or fourth in the league in hitting, and they've got a really good quality Friday night guy. We saw him last year a little bit. It'll be very similar to what we saw this past Friday in the lefty from Houston Baptist. Like you said, recorded his second shutout of the season. So we got to do a good job of getting back to work and executing. You know, like we talked about, it doesn't matter who we play in the conference. It doesn't matter whether they have 3 wins or 13 wins, where they're ranked in the conference. Each weekend's bigger and bigger, and it gets tougher and tougher. We just continue to grind out some wins.
Yeah, Matt, it's hard to believe it, but then after the Lamar series, your final non-conference game, midweek game of the year, is you're going to go on the road to Baton Rouge to take on Southern. This is the second time that you played them this year. You knocked them off earlier in the year, but always a good matchup when you play the Jaguars.
Yeah, it's a club you got to be careful with. They've done a good job of knocking some guys off midweek, and they're going to be going into the conference tournament, so they're going to throw all their mainstay guys who shut down some people here a couple weeks ago and had a quality win against McNeese as well. So we've got to do a good job again of just taking it one game at a time, get ready to go out there and compete, no matter who we're playing, and just win the next pitch.
Well, I know a lot of our fans are excited that the Lions will be back in town this weekend to take on Lamar for a big Southland Conference series. We hope to see everyone at the ballpark, and we hope that the rain is out of here. We've had enough rain here these last couple of weeks. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. For Coach Matt Reiser, I'm Alan Waddell. We'll see you next week right here on Inside Southeastern Baseball with head coach Matt Reiser, presented by your local Southern Quality Ford dealers and Buddy's Bar and Grill right here in Hammond.